Our first award of the evening is the Martin Luther King Jr. Memorial Award. It is presented to a nominee who emulates Dr. King in leadership and philosophy, and who opens the pathways of hope to Americans of all races and groups. This year's recipient is from Alabama.
Hi, I'm Anita Gibson, President of the Alabama Education Association. It is with great pride that I introduce a civil rights icon, one of the founders of the movement and a man who dedicated his life to the struggle, who sacrificed so much that we would be free, Reverend Fred Shuttlesworth.
The events in Birmingham in 1963 shocked the nation and led to the passage of the Civil Rights Act of 1964. But for Birmingham civil rights leader Fred Shuttlesworth, it was a long time coming. As pastor of the Bethel Baptist Church, Reverend Shuttlesworth preached a fiery brand of nonviolent activism. And in the racist, segregated town of Birmingham, he had many enemies. Trying to enroll his daughters in an all-white high school in 1957, Reverend Shuttlesworth was attacked by Klansmen with brass knuckles and bicycle chains. Twice the target of bombs and repeatedly jailed for protesting inequalities, Fred Shuttlesworth, nonetheless, never stopped speaking out. He helped organize black children and students in 2 weeks of daily demonstrations that ended in Public Safety Commissioner Bull Connor unleashing dogs and fire hoses on the defenseless children and on him. Reverend Shuttlesworth suffered chest injuries from one of the high-pressure hoses and had to be taken away in an ambulance. Bull Connor told reporters afterwards, "I wish they'd carried him away in a hearse." In 1957, with Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., Dr. Ralph Abernathy, and Reverend Joseph Lowery, he started the Southern Christian Leadership Conference, dedicated to ending segregation through nonviolent means, even though violence was all around him. In 1963, when 4 little girls were killed in a bombing of Birmingham's 16th Street Baptist Church, Reverend Shuttlesworth spoke at their funerals. Along with Dr. King, he led the march from Selma to Montgomery on March 7, 1965, a day that would come to be known as Bloody Sunday. No matter how often he was knocked down or arrested, Fred Shuttlesworth never gave up. It was through his determination and will that the world finally saw the inequalities that existed in Birmingham and in the nation. Widely considered one of the bravest and most dynamic leaders of the civil rights movement, Reverend Fred Shuttlesworth fought for equality and freedom for all Americans the only way he knew how, from the front lines.
Toughen up like a good soldier. Yeah. Well, I've tried to be. I don't know yet what I'm toughen up, but I know one thing. Since God knows where I was going to go into and what I was going to face, He knew I was going to face dynamite, so He made me dynamite proof.
Ladies and gentlemen, accepting the award on behalf of Reverend Fred Shuttlesworth is his wife, Sapphira Shuttlesworth. It is with tremendous gratitude and honor that I present to you Sapphira Shuttlesworth.
Thank you. It is with tremendous gratitude and honor that I accept this award on behalf of my husband, Reverend Fred Shuttlesworth, posthumously. We would like to thank the National Education Association and its nominating committee. Fred Shuttlesworth loved his fellow man and believed in those inalienable rights given to us first by God and later by the Constitution of our land. For those rights, he was willing to sacrifice his life. He also believed in equal access to free, appropriate public education, and that greater gains could have been made in the years following the movement to assure that poor, disenfranchised children were able to freely participate in an educational system that assured equal opportunity for all. Despite his many accomplishments, Fred Shuttlesworth was a selfless man, having received nearly 1,000 awards and proclamations, 9 honorary doctorate degrees, and the keys to the countless cities in our nation. He would tell you that the struggle was not about him. He was a fiery yet humble man of unwavering faith and unmistakable courage. First and foremost, he was honored to be called a minister of God. He is with us this evening in spirit, and he won't allow me to take my seat without reminding each of us that the struggle is never over, and that we all have the responsibility to inspire and motivate others, especially our young. We must encourage them to take up their torch of justice and run their own race with dignity, honor, and substantive purpose. I humbly accept this award on behalf of my husband, Reverend Fred Shuttlesworth. May God bless you, one and all. Thank you.